Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to show you how I make rice pudding. It's really easy, provided you know how to do it. And I do a version with evaporated milk because it gives it kind of like that richer, creamier taste without getting, too much fat in it. And it has a color very similar to a product that's fairly well known. Now, I am cooking this on the stove, but I can get most of it ready on the counter, surprisingly enough. I've got 3 cups of cooked rice here. I made a batch the other day, and this was the other bit. So I got the cooked rice in the pot here, and I'll just get the rest of it ready here. So you're going to measure 1.5 cups of milk, and the reason I'm using such a large measuring cup is because I'm going to do basically all the mixing right in here. I'll add the evaporated milk right in here. Give that a brief stir. What you're going to do now is you're going to add everything except 1/2 cup to the rice, okay? And you don't have to take out 1/2 cup of milk. You can just do this visually. Just do it a bit slow at the beginning. The reason for that is you want this much left to mix the egg, the sugar, the cinnamon, and the vanilla in here, because you're going to form, rice pudding is actually a form of custard. Get the raisins in here now. I use golden seedless because I like them. You can use any kind you want. I like a mild flavor in here. Like I use light brown sugar, and if you like, you could use dark or demerara, depending on your taste preferences. But demerara has a fairly strong flavor. So kind of just get that worked through, break up the clumps, and get that on the stove on low heat. Yeah, crack the egg in a small bowl, just in case you get a piece of eggshell. It's a lot easier to get out of here than out of here. Brown sugar, cinnamon. Now, I know 1/2 teaspoon doesn't seem like very much, but a little goes a long way in here. Now, if you don't like cinnamon, just leave it out. It'll be fine. And the vanilla. Give that a good stir. And bring that over to the stove with you. Yeah, it's important. Okay, so break up the clumps there if you're using cold rice. If you're using fresh hot rice, it's not as much of an issue. You can use either one. Now, the key with this is do not turn up the heat, okay? Because if you turn up the heat, what's going to happen is all this milk, a lot of it is going to come off as steam, and it'll appear to thicken up really quickly, but it will not penetrate the grains of the rice, and you're going to have a rice pudding that's got like hard rice in it, or toughish rice, or whatever. Okay, so just let that go. Plus, you also want the raisins to absorb the moisture from the milk. So this has got just the right consistency now. This is a personal preference, so you can go either way with this. You can cook it some more, but you got to remember, because rice is a starch, this will only get thicker with time. Okay, so this will thicken up, and it's hot now, right? So it's going to get really thick when it's cold, or even room temperature. Now, if you want to be sure, you can just get some of the rice, not the liquid, and just taste it. Yeah, the rice should not be falling apart, but you should not have to chew it, which is just the right consistency. Now, stir up your mixture again, because it'll have settled while that was cooking. Toss all of that in at once. Now here you want to turn the heat up to medium, because you want to cook the custard. Yeah, stir it fairly briskly to get those little globs of cinnamon to disperse. You want to keep it moving on the bottom so it doesn't stick, but you do want to stop for a bit and just check for when it starts to bubble, because when you've got a slow boil going in here, what you're really looking for is that the egg is cooked, and then you can stop. Okay, you should be able to see that and hear that. It started to do the lava thing where you can see the big bubbles coming from the bottom. Now also, it's getting nice and thick, Okay, but there's still a lot of liquid in here. Because you got to remember, if you cook it till it looks creamy when it's super hot, when it's cold, it will literally turn into a solid sludge and not be a really nice texture. Yeah, it's good now. So I'll just take it off the heat and plate some up and just let that cool off in the bowl so I can show you. So this has been on the counter for a while. It's still warm to the touch, but you can see it's thickened up considerably. So I'll just give it like a little stir here so you can see, yeah. So it's got a nice consistency. It's still creamy, okay? Oh, that's nice, yeah. Well, I guess I should try some since I have the spoon in it, eh? But, oh yeah! Yeah, that's really good. So, that's how I make rice pudding. I do hope you give it a shot. It's pretty simple to make. Quite cheap, actually. And I think it's better than the one you get at the store. So, thanks for watching. I hope to see you again.